Rafael Nodal of Altadis Cigars. Rafael, thank you so much for taking this time to talk to us, my friend.
Thank you for having me here. 2023, Las Vegas, great show for us, introducing some of the new products.
Absolutely. That's what we're all here for, is we're all excited to see what's coming down the pipeline. And for Altadis, obviously it's a big brand. These guys have a lot to show off. So if we can get started, what do you want to start with first?
Let me just present the first one is our new Upmann, the Banker DayTrader. You know, the Upmann brand started in Cuba in 1844. It was two brothers from Germany that came to put their first bank in Cuba. They fell in love with cigars, and they come out with Upmann, their last name. So this is a new interpretation. Obviously, banking has changed, so this is the Banker DayTrader, you know, for the young people and this. Yep. So it's a modern interpretation of that classic Upmann cigar, DayTraders, made in our fantastic new factory, Tabacalera Garcia, in Dominican Republic, and by the Grupo de Maestros. Just a great medium cigar with a lot of flavors. I'm sure for those day traders, it's gonna be a classic for them.
That's a cool way to bring a traditional brand into the modern era, I think.
Absolutely. You not only the package, the project, of course, but it pays homage to that amazing DNA of the brand.
Absolutely. That's awesome. And when can we expect this to be released?
This actually started shipping this week. So yeah, so this is ready to our consumers to be enjoying the Upmann DayTrader soon.
So by the time you see this, it might already be on shelves.
Cheers.
All right, Raf, let's move on to the next one, shall we?
Oh, absolutely. Let me walk you around.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what do we have here?
Thank you for coming along with me. We are so excited for this introduction. Montecristo, an amazing brand. It started in Cuba in 1935. So in 2020, we came out with the Montecristo 1935 anniversary. Made in Nicaragua, was the #2 cigar of Cigar Aficionado, something very classic. So we're doing a follow-up. We continue to elevate and expand. So we took that idea. We took even older tobacco. We started with a hybrid wrapper grown by A.J. Fernandez. That took about 10 years for development, about 4 years of aging. And now we introduced the new Montecristo Edicion Diamante. Listen, we all know diamonds, right, are forever. Yeah. Well, this is a brand that is amazing. A great anniversary. We celebrated that in 2020. And now this Diamante is subtle tastes, and it's a cigar that I'm sure is going to please a lot of people. It's great flavors, great aroma, and a tremendous consistency.
Do you know the components? Like, what is it comprised of with filler, binder, filler?
I know the component because I make the blend. So the components is one of the most important things in the cigar, as you know. Because, you know, I love to eat. I don't know if you noticed that by looking at me. But you can have a good meal if you don't have good ingredients. And the ingredients is the most important part. This is a full Nicaragua blend. So we have tobaccos from Jalapa, we have tobacco from Estelí, and from Condega. This is but the secret is the different varieties of criollos tobacco grown by A.J. Fernandez, his own farm. Every single component we have been visiting since they were growing up, and then the aging, the fermentation, and the process. So this is a project that, although it has been released now, it started a long, long time ago.
And when can we expect this to be released?
It's actually starting to ship next week. So one of the things we've been able to do, we have been aging these tobaccos. We made the cigars, and you know, normally you keep the cigars in the humidors maybe, I don't know, 45 days, 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, depending on what you're trying to achieve with the blend. This cigar, we had it over 6 months that have been resting on the humidor. And I used to go and visit them every month to make sure it was good. Every week to make sure it was good. And now they're ready for everybody. The Montecristo Edicion Diamante. So if you don't want to treat yourself to a diamond,
the next best thing.
The next best thing, the Edicion Diamante.
What are we talking as far as price point?
Price point is about $25, 18 to 25, depending on the size. It is a little bit more expensive, but the amount of tobacco, the aging, the processes, I think that is really not expensive when you consider the amazing components of that cigar.
It's a diamond.
It's a diamond. What do you want? Edicion Diamante, guys.
Buy it. Cool. Okay, so let's move on to the next one.
Want to show you a little bit? Our next-
Okay, Rafael, so talk to me about what we're standing in front of right now.
So we're here in our next release, the aging room Quattro Nicaragua Sonata, my own aging room. In 2019, we got the #1 spot in Cigar Aficionado, the best cigars of the year, with the aging room Quattro Nicaragua. So I was nervous to do a new version of that, because obviously when you have something good, how can you top it? Very nervous. But we decided to release the aging room Quattro Nicaragua Sonata. Sonata is a musical term, something that I fell in love since I started music when I was very young. There are a lot of great composers that make great sonatas. You have Rachmaninoff, Bach, Beethoven, Mozart. Hey, I wanted to have my own sonata. The difference is I didn't do it with the musical notes. I did it with tobacco leaf. And I wanted for this cigar something that it was available for everybody. That if whether you like a strong cigar, that's what you want. When you want a mild cigar, that's what you want. So this is a straight medium. Tobaccos age tremendous amount of year. Every single leaf on this cigar has been aged more than 10 years. This is a project, a collaboration with my good friend and cigar master, A.J. Fernandez, and these tobaccos are amazing. The Sonata, we dedicated to Nicaragua, to the land of volcanoes and lake, and that, my interpretation of the Sonata.
Yeah. My gosh, yeah. And it might look familiar to a lot of people too. They know the name, Quattro Sonata, but this is the first time that they're kind of in harmony with each other, because the Sonata was another release as well, right?
Absolutely. Solera a long time ago.
Yes.
And now we have the Sonata. So Solera was a method of aging the tobacco. The Sonata is more a musical term related with that. And the Sonata is divided, normally the musical sonatas are divided in three sides, in three parts. You start with a first introduction, you got with the body that develops the musical notes, and then you have the end. And that's exactly what you do in the cigar. You start developing the flavors at the beginning. In the middle, you get all those flavors and you start getting a little bit more of those notes, and then the last part where everything goes around. And that, I think, pays homage to the Sonata and to the tobacco as well.
Yeah. And you mentioned everything in there is 10 years, at least 10 years old, right?
10 years old.
That's rare, because some manufacturers use, maybe 10 or even older tobacco, but that's in one component.
Yeah.
To have it all in one, I mean, for everything,
Well,
that's pretty.
like I said, we wanted to be, I was very nervous about expanding the #1 cigar of the year. So we wanted to do a specific ages. And these are strong tobaccos in order to have a strong flavor, but the only way it worked if it was aged a long time ago. Because when you age after fermentation the tobacco a long time, the flavors settle, and then you don't have very strong. So compared to my aging room Quattro Nicaragua with more forward facing flavor, these are more subtle. This is a cigar that you need to sit down, relax, and you're gonna enjoy those subtle notes. So pay attention, because you are in for a treat.
Yes. So this might be a perfect segue, talking about aging room and music. We took the liberty to ask our customers to ask questions to the manufacturers.
Oh, that's a fantastic idea.
And there's somebody that wanted to ask you a question. So this is specifically about aging room. Okay? This is from Richard Merhar, and this is Alexandria, Minnesota. Okay? He wants to know why the aging room bin #1 G major was discontinued.
Oh my God, that's a great question. Well, when we introduced the aging room brand, we wanted to do in a small batch format. So that meant when tobaccos is something that it changes every year because of the soil, the weather, all these things. But we decided to do a small batch. That meant that every single component of that tobacco, we age it and we make it. Even one of the components finished, we finish the project, we call it something else. So the big #1, we use tobacco. My first time, I remember that I used a Ecuadorian Habano. And then it was all from 1998. But everything in life good ends, hopefully. Eventually ends, so the tobacco ends. And that's it, we finished that. We came out later on with the big #2, and we'll follow up with something else. But that tobacco made in Dominican Republic by my good friend and partner, Jose Blanco, that tobacco finished, and that's when we finished the production.
Very nice. Well, I hope that answers that question. It might not be the best news, though. That's not what they want to hear.
Try the new aging room Quattro Nicaragua Sonata. You are going to be for a treat as well.
There you go. We got a good substitute. Rafael, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us, my friend.
Hey, thank you. It's
Any
always great.
last words for Neptune customers?
No, listen. You guys are very lucky because Neptune not only offers an amazing selection of cigars, but also they understand the products, and I know them very well. So you know whatever you buy is going to be good quality and great cigar. Try it. My agent's room, Quattro Nicaragua Sonata, our Montecristo 1935, our DayTraders, because this is the place to get it. Cheers.
You guys heard it here first. Be on the lookout for those products, probably in stores by the time you see this video. Until next time, this is Rene with Neptune Cigars. See you next time.